It is kind of early for me to be getting out in the garden at least. It's around 7 and the sun is up. It's going to be super hot today, let's say 98. And we have a couple days after that where we will be close to 100. And so I thought, you know what, even though I'm not a morning person, I'm really not. I should be after all these years of having children and doing all the hustle and bustle in the morning. I still struggle with mornings because ideally I would be a night owl, but that doesn't work too well with our lifestyle for the last 20 years. So Tonto and I are waking up. I've had my coffee. We're gonna get out front. I want to work on that bed, that new bed that I built like January-ish. It's in need of help again. So there are weeds. We need to do cutbacks. I'm planting some things that we started from seed a couple weeks ago, a week ago. I've got the Cranberry Hibiscus to plant, okra, and I'm kind of like decorating with some of my sweet potato slips, my extra sweet potato slips. And then I want to get my Roselles in the ground and see what else we can do. So come along, let's get out there and let's have a good day. Show you what I did last night. I'll put some pictures. So I worked on this area. So let me just stop and put a couple clips and show you what I did. So that area is completely planted, even though it looks like there's nothing there, it will be completely full. I've got 3 cranberry hibiscus, probably about 8 to 10-ish, the Cajun okra, and then the sweet potato vines in the front. But let me go ahead and show you everything else before we get started. So I'm thinking, why don't I start at the tip and I'll work my way down. This area here is completely new. All of this just got done, goodness, like I said, I think January, February, but the plantings happened probably around April. Still no peacock orchids. Transplanted all of those cosmos. Some of them did bloom. The cannas are starting to come up. And the white gladiolas are pretty much done. This is the last one, I think. And you know, they're doing their normal flopping around thing, which really gets on my nerves. Transplanted some pineapple sage, and I'm hoping it will overwinter for me. This whole area will get very insulated come fall. Probably will dig up any of the caladiums though. This area needs to get edged and weeded. The elephant ears, slow to grow, so slow. I will admit, so embarrassing, when I planted them, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to plant them the way I think they should be planted. I've planted so many bulbs in the past. I've planted elephant ears before. So I planted them all upside down. So a few weeks go by, finally I come out here and I'm like, I'm going to dig them up and see what's going on. And I had planted them upside down. So I just flipped them and then they took off. But it's easy to do that. So when in doubt with those type of bulbs, plant them on their side and then you won't have any trouble because they can orient themselves really well. All right, let's see. So these are cranberry hibiscus. And then there's going to be a whole roll of okra. And I had a few that I had started about a week and a half ago. So I did put those in the ground. Hopefully everything will go well. This soil is not the best. It's really not. I shouldn't be walking on these seeds, but they haven't sprouted since we just put them in last night. Those are snapdragon cuttings, and they're stunted. But next year they'll be much better. So the sweet potato vine, you know, the deer are going to come and eat it, but I just wanted to do this as an experiment. I've got the blazing stars here. Did not know they would get that tall. I really did not know. So the package said 24 inches max. These are more like 36 plus. But the bees love them so much. This area also is brand new. It's mostly just dahlias. The blazing star, I had some perennial verbena there that I just had cuttings of that I stuck in the ground. They actually took. So that's pretty good. I got some zinnias, and you see that new dahlia? So that is the mystery bag I bought at Costco for, or was it Sam's Club? Yeah, $10.99. I got like a huge bag of dinner plate size dahlias. You know, you didn't get to pick the color or anything, but I love that color so much, that deep maroon. I'll put pictures because it's much prettier in person. And then these orange ones are kind of dwarfs. They shouldn't get much taller. I need to do pruning. Lots of pruning. And then, of course, the bridal bush, the mock orange, they were planted here before we started this whole new bed. And lots of crabgrass, you know, has been coming up. Maybe after I weed, I'll take a picture, because this is kind of like a nice little picture here. So the coneflowers are fading. Thinking about cutting them back. I like to leave them for the birds to eat during winter. But I'm thinking, what if I cut them and I get a new flush for fall? And then they will have food for fall too. Spiced hardy hibiscus. I need to get these guys back on my property line. Cut back the yarrow. Cut back the feverfew. This guy's a mess after the storms we had, which was great to get rain, but look at him. So we have to do something with him. I'm not sure what yet. Need to cut back on this dahlia. I have not deadheaded one time, and it looks horrible, as you can see, but there's a couple flowers. And what else do we need to do? Goodness, goodness. Lots of cleanup. Lots and lots of cleanup. Now, I never got around to cleaning up this bed in the front section earlier this spring, early spring. We need to cut back the sea holly. So pretty though, especially in the light, like right now. So pretty. I am going to cut this Shasta daisy down to the ground, and we're going to work on that clematis that looks like it needs help as well. This bed got done a month ago, so we're not even going to look over there. There's just so much that needs to get done here. And we might take some cuttings from this straw flower to root, and or we may prune it up so we can get more flowers, because these are about done. This aster is taken off. I'd like to plant something here. Not sure what. Rose of Sharon is getting huge. I want to limit up more and make it more like a tree. And that's how we purchased it. It was purchased 3 years ago, and it was limbed up, but it's starting to get too bushy. So I kind of want to make it more tree shape again. So when it's the proper time, I'm going to have to research it. I think it's probably after blooming. I'm not sure. Even though this isn't my favorite, it is Japanese beetle trap. So that's kind of a good thing. Need to cut back all the catnip. And, oh, look at that big bee. We will be back here on the back side. And so many mushrooms. So the soil must be kind of happy here. I did get some of the status to bloom that we planted a while back. It's very stunted though. I thought this was cotton candy blend. So I've got a yellow, a pink. Oh, never mind. This is yarrow. I thought that was status. That's yarrow, so only yellow for the status. Soapwort, it's already bloomed. Maybe I need to cut it back. And then my big oregano mess. And this is dog fennel right there. That is a weed, basically. So I need to get in there and pull it out. Yep, we got a lot of work to do, and it feels hot. I'm sweating right now. Super sweating. Look at all the weeds. Weeds, weeds, weeds. And this is not weeds from, I don't think, underground. These are weeds that just kind of came in on the wind, and then I didn't pull them. So we need to get busy. Let me give you a closer look at that dahlia. It is just stunning. I love it. I'm going to dig this up when we move. And or, I don't know. I just know I don't want to leave it when we move because I love that color so much. And I'm not a super duper huge dahlia fan, especially if they're like a whiter color, like a paler color, but I love that one. Okay, well at least this whole section is planted because these these Cranberry Hibiscus are gorgeous and they get huge. They will take up this whole space, the 3 of them. So like I said, we finally got rain. I've taken advantage of that by trying to save some of the rain, but this fertilizer bin got a lot of rainwater in it, so I've been mixing up bottles of fertilizer water basically from Plant Tone. So we're going to take a couple with us over to that bed and fertilize a few things as we go. All right, I'm kind of thinking, number 1, it's so hot. Number 2, why I need to start working from the front back instead of the back to the front. Even though that's my preferred method, it makes more sense to work on the area I haven't even worked on yet and to get some of these weeds out. And the Roselle Hibiscus need to go into the ground immediately. Like immediately. I'll show you. We'll go look at them in a second. So I'm thinking, let's work on the front today as long as I can. Let's get the Roselle in the ground and then let's do some pruning and fertilizing and cutbacks. We just need to find our Roselle Hibiscus. And here they are, looking super waterlogged and sad. Unfortunately, my husband fell on these the other day, so some of them have a broken stem. Don't know if they can recover from that. Maybe. This one looks like it's healed itself slightly. So these 2 are broken, so I have 5 viable. Okay, so I got 2 done. They're about 3.5 feet apart. And they're going to grow into each other because they're going to get huge if everything goes as planned. So now I need to tackle some of this oregano and weeds, and then we're going to put the last 3 over here on this side, just leaving a little pathway in through here. So the oregano is not wanting to budge, and there's a lot of weeds, so to make my life easier, we're just going to cardboard everything in this area. Except for that dog fennel that needs to come out, and just hope for the best. The oregano will most likely come back from root next year. May relocate that feverfew real quick before we do that. All right, got him relocated. Got some cardboard down, wetted it. It's best to remove all the tape you can. And now I am working on removing a couple of problems, including this guy right here. So I've got this dog fennel that will come back from seed and or rhizome. And then I've got a volunteer butterfly bush, which does not belong here. And something else, the bees are really angry with me because I'm taking away all their oregano. Something else we're going to do while I'm up in here is we're going to prune the flowers off of the peonies because they're done. So we need to do that. Oh. You can see I've got problems. I have got morning glory. That is a huge problem for me. So I will remove any morning glory that I find. But first we're going to tackle that dog fennel. So I was able to get the dog fennel and the butterfly bush all in one cutting with my shovel and some oregano. I don't think I'm ready to cut back the coneflower yet. It's still kind of pretty. But definitely a lot of the yarrow, I'm cutting just above a leaf node, the ones that have faded. And for the feverfew, I am cutting that back severely. Just don't want it coming over the property line, so I'm going to keep them nice and short and tidy. And can you see where I cut cutting just below, I'm sorry, just above the leaf node, like right there. So I got all 5 roselles into the ground. I got 3 over here on this side. Did a lot of cutbacks, trimming, like with the yarrow, feverfew. Trimmed out that peony. These guys are in the ground. Need mulch. And these 2 are over here. I relocated a spider flower as well. And the bees are very active, very, very hot. Of course, I've got a huge mess now. And so I don't know what to do with the broken stemmed roselles. That's a shame. I may do some kind of experiment on them. I'm going to relocate this coneflower. So I'm going to water these 3 planters really well. Then I will give each of them a splash of the fertilizer. Not pretty. So there is Bilia. This has 3 plants, Gara, coneflower, and a grass, and then the white. Let me see if it's opening yet. No, not yet. White Rose of Sharon. So now you know why I didn't have any makeup on this morning, because it's so hot. I am sweating. I need to go take a break. I think I may be at the point of exhaustion. Heart rate's racing. Very hot. Need a Gatorade. But we're going to do one last thing. So let me show you. So I'm going to water the plants I put in last night one more time. The 3 cranberry hibiscus, and then the okra, and then the sweet potato slips. And then I've got this whole container. This is just calendula I collected about a month ago. I'm just going to sprinkle it all through there, because I think that would be so pretty. Alright guys, you're going to have to come back for part 2 because it's just too hot. This may be like a end of, well, it's only early, mid-June, July. It shouldn't be this hot. So we will finish this bed. So come back. See you soon. Happy gardening.